Hi, welcome to my second video of books I got for Christmas 2016. For this video I'm going to be doing books in the non-fiction category, so for anyone who's not interested in that, maybe you could skip this video and move on to one that you find more interesting. So the first book I got in this category is A Universe from Nothing, and this is by Lawrence M. Krauss. And on the back of the book it says, where did the universe come from? What was there before it? What will the future bring? And finally, why is there something rather than nothing? Now this is a really interesting take on the concept of the word nothing, and this is obviously a science book, and it's not a massive book if you're interested in that kind of thing but don't want to spend time reading a book like that. So it might be a nice introduction if you want to get into that subject and you want something easy. Well, I say easy, it's not easy, but you know, it's not as big as some of them, put it that way. So I really liked this book. I admit I've already read this one, and I thought it was a good introduction to the topic, and it really makes you think. So following on from that one, I also got this one, and this one is simply called Nothing. And inside the O it says, from absolute zero to cosmic oblivion, amazing insights into nothingness. Now this one is a New Scientist publication and it's got multiple authors, it's not the same one as that one. And on the back it says, it seems Shakespeare had it right all along. It's time to make much ado about nothing. Nothing needs a rethink. All too easily we ignore or dismiss the fascinating possibilities of emptiness and non-existence. For centuries, scientists have known that nothing may in fact be the key to understanding everything, from the true nature of consciousness to the expansion of the cosmos. Because without nothing, or rather what we've long taken to be nothing, we'd be literally nowhere. So yeah, I haven't read this one yet, so I can't say whether it's good or bad, but from the sounds of the back of it, it will be interesting, and it's definitely the kind of topic I like to read about. So as I always say, I'm really looking forward to reading this book. So the next book I got is this, and this book is called Quantum by Manji Kumar, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and this one is about quantum theory, quantum mechanics, and on the back it says, a thrilling narrative history of science's most fundamental revolution, and the divisive debate between Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr and the band of brilliant young men at its heart. Quantum reveals how an idea ignited the greatest intellectual battle of the 20th century. Now this is obviously not an easy subject and most people don't understand it, and I admit that I am one of them. Although I find it fascinating, I don't have a scientific background and it's not an easy subject to get into, but I still find it really interesting for some reason and I love reading books like this. So this is another one on my list of I'm definitely glad I got this for Christmas. So my next book is moving on slightly from science, and this one is 500 Words You Should Know by Caroline Taggart. And this is basically laid out a bit like a dictionary of obscure words and things that you should know but you either forgot or you don't know or you've never heard. So I love stuff like this. On the back of it it says, ameliorate your atavistic lexicon, engage in an little intellectual badinage and be discombobulated by tricky diction, no longer with this cornucopia of knowledge. Yeah, that's a bit of a mouthful, but I've broadly understood it, I think. But yeah, I love books like this. I like picking out new words to confuse people with, so this is going to be definitely a fun book to read. And I'm definitely glad I got this one for Christmas. So the next book I got is actually a collection, and it's sticking with the wordy theme. It's called the I Used to Know That collection. And briefly the books are I Think Therefore I Am by Leslie Levine, I Used to Know That Maths by Chris Waring, I Used to Know That English by Patrick Scrivener, My Grammar and I, or Should That Be Me by Caroline Taggart and J.A. Wines, and then I Before E Except After C by Judy Parkinson. So you can see I haven't even opened this one yet, but I am looking forward to getting round to it at some point. But again, like the other book, I really like stuff like this, and sometimes you will read something and think, oh yeah, I've forgotten about that, and then you remember learning it or having your teacher trying to cram it into you in school, and then other times you're like, oh, I don't even remember the teacher teaching us that. So it's always interesting to brush up and sometimes a bit of a laugh as well, so I can't wait to get stuck into this set. So the last book in my non-fiction set is Immortality by Stephen Cave, and it says The Quest to Live Forever and How It Drives Civilization. So on the back cover, which is a little bit long but I'll read it anyway, it says, who wants to live forever? According to Stephen Cave, we all do, every single one of us, and the evidence is all around. Eluding the Grim Reaper is humanity's oldest and most pervasive wish. It is embedded in our very nature and provides the real driving force behind every aspect of human civilization. Science, agriculture, architecture, religion, the arts, fame and family. From freeing your soul to freezing your brain. All these attempts to divide death fall into four simple categories. The four paths to immortality. Ranging across continents and cultures from ancient Egypt to cutting-edge laboratories, immortality raises the curtain on what compels us humans to keep on going. The four paths are ancient, but science is now showing us, for the first time in human history, whether any of them can really lead to infinity. Cave investigates what it would mean for our lives if they can, but also if they can't. If the paths up the Mount of Immortals led nowhere, if there was no getting to the summit, is there still a reason to live, and can civilization survive? So this is a really interesting book, and it kind of reminds me, although it is non-fiction rather than a fictional book, of some of the books that I have read that do feature immortality and the consequences to mankind of us managing to achieve that. So it's quite interesting to read this from a scientific perspective, or will be when I do read it, and obviously I can't wait to read this book, as I always say. But yeah, I was really pleased to receive this one, and it sounds like it will be a really fascinating read. So that's it for all the non-fiction books I received for Christmas this year. Thank you for watching, and well done if you made it this far. For my next video I'm going to do the vampire books I received this year. Bye!